Honorable Chair, thank you for convening this meeting. And this is the time, right, Mr. Chairman, that we have to interact with the entities that we take the oversight function. So it's imperative, Mr. Chairman, that once we are having our guests, on whose behalf we as the committee members, on behalf of Parliament, we take the oversight, it's important that a few issues are clarified. Mr. Chairman, recently on Monday, the country woke to a shock where 6 suspected Ugandans were gunned down under unclear circumstances, that they intended to carry out theft or robbery at Stanbic Bank, Kololo, Acacia, but to our surprise, these were gunned down at Total, and some fell far down Mawanda Road, Mr. Chairman. And there were 6 in number, 6 Ugandans, Mr. Chairman. And what evidence did they find on them? 2 rusty pangas and pepper spray. And 6 lives of Ugandans were put out of action. So, Mr. Chairman, since we have those in the docket, since when has the life of Ugandans been treated casually like that? How do you conduct an operation, Mr. Chairman? They said they traced them from the CCTV cameras and informers, and they chanced on them. Mr. Chairman, they are police officers. They know that it's not enough to punish the intention, the mens rea. There must have been an actus reus, an act, someone has been caught red-handed. I doubt, Mr. Chairman, whether nowadays it's possible and tenable for machete-wielding people to attack a bank, and yet there is a police post just in the vicinity, Mr. Chairman. To date, as per yesterday, Mr. Chairman, only 2 bodies, two bodies had remained unknown, unidentified, and were in the mortuary. 2 bodies. If you knew the suspects, you must have had their particulars. You must have known that this is so-and-so, a notorious robber. We've been trading him. He's here. We got him. But even those who killed him don't know the people they killed. Can you imagine? I'll take the information.
I'm Betty Numbers, the Shadow Minister for Internal Affairs.
And a member.
And a member of this committee representing Mukono Municipality. Mr. Chairman, the information I want to give is that one of the videos in the social media shows an officer telling the suspect to lie down, and the suspect complying, calling out, "Look at me," and the suspect complying, and then firing at the suspect in a fatal way. I was on TV. I was one Romoshana on NBS, and he came out properly and said that him having been in the security organizations for some time, this was an execution, because we have always known that police at most will fire to disable a suspect, so that you can, if the suspect is running away, you fire at him or her to disable that person. But if you are killing a person who is lying down on your orders, Mr. Chairman, and the information I want to give, is that really sorting out suspects or execution of people?
Okay, please.
Who snatch phones, who probably here and there were lay people. Did they deserve that in a civilized country like Uganda, where we all stand to defend the people, the lives of those who can't speak for themselves, Mr. Chairman? We need this clarified. Lastly,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, lastly, I was feeling, okay, but I can proceed. Myself, Mr. Chairman, on the 23rd of December, myself, I was attacked in my own constituency by the anti-riot police from the headquarters here in Naguru, because, Mr. Chairman, they came in troop carriers, those long vehicles.
They attacked you
in my
your
constituency, yes. And I was feeling sad because I'm not seeing the director of operations who ought to be here. But now that we have the minister and the IGP, probably they can clarify. I was in Remiaga County. There was a meeting where I went as an area member of parliament. But even without being an area member of parliament, by our setup under the local government, every Ugandan is a councillor, at least at the village. So we were at Remiaga LC1, where I'm born, where you reside, where you got registered. But then, unknown to me, the FFU, the Field Force Unit from Naguru, were transported overnight. And they laid in ambush. Mr. Chairman, I have photos here. I was assaulted. My vehicle, the windscreen were shattered. They shot bullets and tear gas. And I inquired why the DPC was doing that. And I inquired the officer who was on the ground. He said, no, he has been cleared by the RPC. The RPC, we tried to get in touch with him, and he said, no, he had instructions from Naguru, from the director operations, the number 3 police officer in seniority. Since then, Mr. Chairman, this is the matter that needed to be clarified as to why Mr. Frank Mwesigwa, the director of operations, could do this. We are going to an election period. What prompted him to deploy from Naguru, Masaka region, and the Sembabli to Remiaga playground? Mr. Chairman, it is unfortunate, but his young brother, Ezra Tugume, was the one conducting and carrying out the orders of his big brother, Frank Mwesigwa. And they were being put to the DPC, to Azaje. Unfortunately, Mr. Chairman, we all come from the same place, from Nyabushozi. And I was reading the Constitution. The Constitution is clear. Article 211. The Uganda Police Force shall be nationalistic, patriotic, professional, disciplined, competent, and productive, and its members shall be citizens of Uganda of good character. Why did we arrive at that, Mr. Chairman? Frank Tugume, the Director of Operations, Mwesigwa, I beg your pardon, is a person who is known to me, together with his brother. Can't we as police have these, so that you are nationalistic in nature? I don't want to speak about people who are not here. I had a lot to speak about them if they were here. Ezra Tugume, the younger brother, biological younger brother. Is the police turning into a family affair such that we have nowhere we can complain? And this came to your attention and nobody raised a finger about it. And Mr. Chairman, lastly, the police must be national in character. You don't get people of the same constituency. Actually, they are your constituencies, all of them, Mr. Chairman. You don't get them and you put them in Remiaga, in Sembabule, in Masaka region, and even at the top level here as the Director of Operations. I was hurt, Mr. Chairman, and now since that they're here, I want them to clarify.
Thank you.
What prompted the deployment and the attacking of the area MP? In fact, I asked them, has this meeting, which you say I can't go to, has it been cleared by police? The OC down said the RPC, that is Ezra Tugumi, has cleared it. And when we asked the RPC, he said, no, the director, operations, and there was no evidence to that effect. Mr. Chairman, if we personalize the instruments of coercion, if we turn them into family issues, if we know the circumstances under which this very Ezra left Busia as the DPC.
No, I think now your point of
I want to go there, Mr. Chairman.
Please.
I'll raise it at another point in time. Incidentally, the Director of Operations, who usually accompanies the IGP, is not here. I'm saddened that he's not here. I wanted to look him in the eye. Together with his brother, he's also not here. Twazaji is not here.
Why don't you address them as RPC and direct operations? Because now, in my view, they are carrying out all that because they are responsible for what they are doing. So when you now personalize it to names and villages, you yourself, you actually dilute your point. The issue is that Honorable Sochikubo was attacked in his constituency, which is not good.
From the face of it.
We want the IG, want the minister to talk about it.
Mr. Chairman, from the face of it.
The IGP.
From the
give
face
him
of
a chance to respond.
Yes, but from the face of it, yes, you could be right. But I'm dissecting to you so that you see that the decisions taken could not have been supported by the police. And why are they doing that? Is the question. This is why I'm doing this. There is no professional police officer who could do that if they were not seated in their sitting room and discussing the affairs of Uganda.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman.
Okay. Matters raised by Honorable Sochikubo and augmented by the shadow minister. Please, Honorable Minister. No, because for informing who, they are going to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I remember when I took over as steward of the Department of Internal Affairs, I called the IGP and I told him that under no circumstances, should a Ugandan be executed or killed when he is in handcuffs or unarmed. I regret what you said, that Ugandans were gunned down on mere suspicion. This is contrary to my policy directive, and I've called for a report of the incident. And those responsible will be held to account in accordance with the laws of Uganda. Secondly, it's unfortunate that the police should interfere with the activities of a member of parliament duly elected. That's not the job of the police. Stopping a member of parliament from addressing his or her constituents is the job of the constituents who elected him or her in the first place. A member of parliament does not have to ask for permission to carry out his or her activities in their jurisdiction. So, at a certain stage, I will ask the Inspector General of Police to explain what happened. This is contrary to our directives, both the President and myself. We don't condone this. We want to rate it. I thank you.
Our assess the incidents happened. As Parliament and as we go out, we want to assure Ugandans that their lives are in good hands. We needed action now. We know you are waiting for the report, but it could be endless. Police reports sometimes get endless.
No, I have faith in my Inspector General Police. I have faith in Mr. Byakagawa. I have faith in Mr. Byakagawa. I have faith in Mr. Byakagawa, not only to handle, not only to bring the report, but also to handle the police.
Okay. Thank you. Honorable Minister, yes?
Thank you. In your ruling, that you are going to give us an opportunity as members to raise some issues before the minister would come, but when I looked at him, it seemed that he was ready now to proceed on his main presentation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I start with the issue before us, and I want to commend the minister for coming out so clearly today and even before to condemn actions that are not proper within the police. You saw him strongly clarifying that no Ugandan should be executed. But when he resorted to the issue of the report, Mr. Chairman, I wasn't satisfied. Because if somebody commits an offense, you don't go to require for reports. You do arrests. And I don't think that policemen are above the law. If there was an execution of Ugandans, as we also, I think even before you inquire for a report administratively, there ought to be action through arrests. Who were the people responsible for this particular operation? That Ugandans were executed in summarily, like we also. Who has been arrested so far? Should we really, Mr. Chairman, wait for a report administratively? And it seems that at times the requirement or the promise for reports is just for buying of time. I don't want to believe that my colleague, who substantially holds the ministry, is just playing with our emotions and talking tough, saying that I've required for a report. That's not enough. We want action in terms of arresting people who are suspected now to have killed Ugandans outside their mandate, beyond what the mandate they hold provides for. That is it, Mr. Chairman. And recalling that on the 23rd of December 2024, one Semwaka Julius was shot dead near Nakasero State Lodge. And we are told that the culprit, Bahati, this is somebody who is said to have failed to give way. They were in a traffic jam and the police were escorting somebody and they wanted these people to clear way, and in the process, Bahati was killed. The last I heard about it was that Bahati was on the run. But he wasn't alone. This was a group of people. We don't know who exactly shot Semwaka. I want to know what is happening even with that particular matter. Mr. Chairman, I also want to talk about the issue of gangs that are building up in the country. I don't know if press has now decided that security should be privatized.
Honorable Betty Bachireke Namboze.
Yes.
That matter that you are going to raise comes substantively in the report, budget framework paper. It would be prudent that the minister presents. When we reach those matters, you come in for points of clarification. Otherwise, we are going to...
but Mr. Chairman, last night in my constituency, her Lordship, Tivulia Margaret, previously deployed a group of both private security guards and a gang of men. I understand that they came from Iganga to Mukono. As it is nowadays, that people who have land and they want to do evictions raise their own armies. They go down the villages, deploy, terrorize the people, but you see police giving them a cover. Police is in the background giving them a cover.
Giving who cover?
These goons, as they demolish and cut down plantations, demolished houses. It happened yesterday in a village called Ibudugala. I personally called the OC of Goma Division, and I gave him even the number of the people who are calling from the villages seeking for the intervention of police. Eventually, he called them back and said, and maybe it is true, that he did not have fuel to send the patrol van down the village. But eventually when they went...
That's exactly what the budget framework paper...
And Mr. Chairman, what I want to talk about is this issue of people raising up armies to guard the land, to guard and even do evictions. And they are watched by police. It has been 3 months now. I've been going to police talking about this issue, which is being, this particular thing that is being done by Hallowedship. In fact, a whole judge terrorizing a village, taking over graveyards. I have pictures here. I will show them to the minister. So what should the people do? You all remember what happened with this Sobi. It is now common knowledge that if you are in Uganda and you have land, there is a group of people you can hire to come and protect your land. And police is aware, Mr. Chairman, about this. So I want to know exactly what are we supposed to do in such situations. What should my people, for example, in Mukono do, Mr. Chairman?
Thank you.
And I don't know what your guidance is, but I thought we had more issues to raise.
No, because Honorable Bachireke, you are a very senior legislator here. You know quite well, yes. Please take a seat. You know quite well that after the minister's presentation, I shall invite specific votes to make presentations. The matters you are raising could adequately be handled therein, or if you are seeking clarification, you come along. But addressing it before makes it difficult for the minister and all others to flow. So let's restrict ourselves to the minister's presentation and the budget framework paper. I can tell you, whatever you are raising comes in there. So please, let's give the minister.
Much obliged.
Thank you. Thank you.
Honorable Bachireke for giving way. Honorable Bachireke, I would like to assure you that all your concerns will be addressed. And like I said before, I have faith in the new Inspector General of Police. He is capable so far, in as much as he is handling an institution that has had a history of a bit of problems. As for the issue of this gentleman who has gone down below State House, I have tasked them to find out what exactly
below State House or Kampala Club?
Kampala Club, yeah.
So where does...
I have tasked them to find out what exactly happened and where the culprit is. Honorable Bachireke, we have not carried out arrests because two mistakes don't make right. I don't want to rush into asking the police to arrest before they have investigated. Because it's me who said, don't arrest unless you are sure your case is going to stand the test of court.
While that is very
don't
correct,
arrest
Honorable Minister.
until you are sure your case will stand the test of court.
Correct.
So that you don't have to put people in prison unnecessarily.
Her concern is how long would the investigations take?
Now, Mr. Chairman, how long is forever? I don't know. How long will the investigations take? It depends on the competence and the resources available to the police, and how soon they will have a satisfactory course of information that will stand the test of court. I don't want them to hold people in jail, because I have people in prison on remand who on conviction would have served 7 months. On conviction would have served 7 months, but they have been on remand for 3 years in prison. And when you ask them to say, okay, did you commit it? No, I don't want to convict myself because I'm innocent. They can't even take a plea bargain because they are innocent. Because if you take a plea bargain in order to get yourself out of jail, then you convict yourself. So it's a chicken and egg situation. So I agree with the police, especially the CID, that they should not arrest anybody until they are satisfied their case will stand. The probability for the case to stand the test of court is more than 50%. I thought that would help.
Thank you.
Both sides. So, Honorable Chireke, we are going to do justice because those people you are complaining about are already dead. Rushing to arrest will not bring them back to life. No, that's what I'm saying. Please,
you had the chance. Let the minister conclude. And you know our rules.
You are right.
I was listening.
But you see, there are those who are dead.
I have been with you.
And we speak for them. We speak for
them. But I'm minister for internal affairs for them also.
Then lead that point.
Yes. No, I'm saying, what I'm trying to tell you, is that me rushing to make mistakes may actually do them injustice. By arresting people, putting them in jail, helping the culprits to flee, may actually do the dead injustice. But by being patient, doing thorough, investigation, and being convinced that the people we are going to arrest are the real culprits, who will be punished by court, is doing the dead justice. Yeah, I don't want to rush into, that's my style of work. Please, Margaret,
Honourable Minister, can you go on?
That's my style of work, and I'm not going.
Mr. Chairman, I don't want to make this a contest between me and the minister, but one thing, arresting is one thing, but opening up a case, a file against the people who are suspected to have executed Ugandans is another thing. Yes, you might not arrest, but has a case been opened up against these people and now they are suspects, and who are they?
But the Inspector General of Police is coming to talk about that.
On that. Yeah,
that's why I came with him.
Thank you. I think that's clearer.
Honorable Chereke, the Inspector General of Police
is here.
He is going to talk about what has happened since then. I'm not the Inspector General of Police, I'm Minister. I'm not an arresting officer. Give me the respect.
Give him a chance, then you have points for clarification.
Mr. Chairman, is only to lay. I'm laying the evidence of the FFU
in your constituency.
In my constituency.
He's yet to address that.
Yes,
right?
But I'm laying since
Please lay. Please lay.
I beg to lay, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you.
God created such
was created on Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you for your diligence and honesty. Honorable Chairperson, you a happy and prosperous New Year, and commiserate with the families of those who lost their dear ones, and we are not able to celebrate, the New Year. I also take this opportunity to thank you for inviting us here amidst your tight schedule of programs to interface with us today. Honorable members, allow me to remind ourselves the three core functions of the Ministry of Internal Affairs through which it implements its mandate. These are preservation of internal security, keeping law and order, and citizenship identification, protection and preservation. The ministry's envisions a peaceful, secure and stable Uganda with a mission to deliver internal security, law and order, peace and stability in Uganda, where citizenship is protected and preserved. Comparative budget overview and proposal for year 25-26. Honorable Chair, the Ministry of Internal Affairs has been allocated 1.490.7 billion for 25-26, which is less when compared with 1.966.41 billion revised budget of this year, 2024-25. It's less by 475.712 billion. The summary of the budget analysis is shown in the table below. I'm not going to go through the table, you have it. From analysis, the shortfall of 475.712 billion in the overall ministry's budget for year 25-26 is going to affect a number of service delivery priorities. Further analysis also shows that apart from vote number 135 DGAR or other votes proposed budget figures for the next year to 25-26 are lower than their overall budget outtimes for the year 23-24. Supplementary budget requests. Honorable Chair members, during the first half of 24-25, my ministry requested for a supplementary budget allocation to address security-related expenditure and other budget shortfalls for critical activities due to inadequate budget allocation to Ministry of Internal Affairs votes at corrigenda budgeting stage. For this year 24-25, for example, the vote 009 Ministry headquarters at corrigenda level suffered an overall budget cut of 48%, shillings 31.301 billion, which reduced the budget from 65.323 billion at MPS level to 0.022 billion for 24-25. After corrigenda, which was made supplementary budget during for the financial year, inevitable. Therefore, the following votes made supplementary budget requests, which were granted. Vote 009, headquarter, 18.402 billion to be used to address budget shortfalls, National Security Coordination, JAT, JOC, GIC, and management of community service orders, a non-custodial sentence aimed at mitigating against the exacerbation of congestion in prisons, and C, operation of the NGO Adjudication Committee. Vote 144 Uganda Police Force, 190.969 to cater for shortfalls in operations, food, utilities, crime intelligence, investigations, classified assets, specialized machinery, equipment, land acquisition, domestic areas, among others. Vote 145 Uganda Prison Service, a total of 26.26 billion to cater for wage shortfalls, 22 billion point 26 billion, water 2 billion, areas 2 billion. Vote 120 National Citizenship Immigration Control, 28.49 billion to enhance enforcement, inspections, border patrol, surveillance, staff welfare, purchase of ICT equipment, and transport equipment to improve compliance. Honorable members, you need to note that the supplementary funding requests to address critical shortfalls of current or recurrent nature, such as utilities, feeding of prisoners, and police officers in the operations uniforms, have not been incorporated in the medium-term expenditure framework, the MTF. My view is that the budget levels after supplementary funding or requests should be maintained to enable the ministry to address critical service delivery areas and prevent persistent requests for supplementary funding during budget implementation and avoid creating endemic areas. Security situation in the country. Honorable Chair and members, peace and security and stability are a sine qua non for socio-economic transformation. Prosperity of any country. The Ministry of Internal Affairs, through its agencies, has incrementally implemented numerous consolidative measures to enhance their capacity to detect, prevent, and effectively respond to crime in the country. Honorable Chair and members, I wish to note that the country has generally continued to enjoy peace and security from border to border. Police, with the support of sister security agencies, has been able to deal with the threat of terrorism and gun crime during a number of terror cells, which a number of terror cells have been dismantled and criminal guns busted. A number of suspects arrested and an assortment of guns and ammunition were recovered. The national security continues to improve and the general crime rate is projected to continue reducing compared to previous years, save for isolated cases of criminality and theft in the villages and urban areas. Honorable Chair members, statistics from Uganda Police indicate a continued reduction in the cases reported between January 2024 to September 2024 projecting a likely reduction in the crime rate in the year 2024. You will recall that by close of 2023, the country registered a reduction in the annual crime rate from 524 to 501 per 1,000 population. And from 2022, with a 1.5% reduction in the volume of reported crime from 231,653 cases in 2022 by 228,074 cases in 2023. From January to September 2024, a grand total of 167,630 cases were reported to the police, compared to 147 cases reported in the same period, January to September 2023, thus giving a reduction in cases reported countrywide by 3,517, 2.1% cases. The Ministry therefore projects a further reduction in the crime rate by the end of the year once the data analysis is finalized. This is shown in the graph below. The national CCTV project continues to play a vital role in curbing crime. The national CCTV project has facilitated the deterrence of crime and aided criminal and traffic offenses. Out of 700 cases handled by CCTV analysts, there have been convictions in 316, and 96 are undergoing trial with the aid of CCTV analysis report. However, there is a need for periodic maintenance to improve the quality of CCTV footage, longevity, reduce downtime from installed cameras. Two, need to implement phase 3 of the CCTV project to fill the existing gaps in Kampala, metropolitan areas, and other areas across the country. The establishment of a modern forensic laboratory. Honorable Chair and members, government has invested heavily to develop a forensic laboratory, including the establishment of a DNA laboratory, a toxicology laboratory, a digital forensic unit. The laboratories have enabled the country to conduct a wide range of forensic tests, including DNA analysis, toxicology testing, and digital forensics. Adoption of modern technologies and equipment in forensic science to improve the accuracy and efficiency of investigations. The government of Uganda, through the Directorate of Government Analytical Laboratory, entered into a contract with SMS Construction to construct a national data bank building infrastructure, a multi-year activity that is phased over 5 years period of the NDP-4. This is intended to support intelligence and crime investigations and strengthen national security of persons and persons identification. This will not only solve the problem of criminal identification and security, but also will eliminate massive arrests of suspects before evidence is obtained, and this will reduce the cost of feeding the suspects in prison. Custodial services. On the side of prisons, the prison population is growing at an average rate of 8% per year. It has increased from an average of 67,289 in year 21-22 to 69,633, 30th January this year. 79,000. This is partly attributed to slow disposal of cases by courts, increased crime rate in some areas, among other factors. The increase in the person population has exacerbated the congestion in prison, which now stands at 374.6%. Space of one prisoner is occupied by more than 3 prisoners. This matter therefore requires urgent attention, and it seriously impacts on accommodation, health, feeding, clothing, utilities, staffing, with a huge financial implication. On a good note, reoffending among prisoners has gone down to 13.4% from 14.7% in financial year 2020-2021 due to enhanced offender rehabilitation programs, formal and vocational education, and implementation of community service programs. Mass registration on new national identity cards. Honorable Chair and members, I wish to report that a total of 27,420,757 citizens 57% of the population are registered in the National Register as at 30th September 2024. 17,897,296, 90% of the eligible population for 16 years have national IDs as at 30th September 2024. Honorable Chair members, I wish to brief members about the progress made so far regarding the mass registration and renewal of the current national IDs that were issued in 2014, 2015 and are expiring. A validity extension of 1 year was granted, and the focus for 24-25 will be renewal of 15.8 million expiring cards and mass registration of all the projected and registered citizens of 17.2 citizens. The migration of data from the old national security information systems to the new enhanced NIS is ongoing. On automation of immigration and citizenship services, the Ministry fast-tracked the automation of citizenship and immigration services project, which has been approved by the Development Committee of the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. However, there are no resources allocated to kickstart the project, which was intended to start from 25/26. The automation of all services under this project will go a long way to positively contribute towards the national security resources permitting. Country to conduct a nationwide forensic tests, including DNA analysis, toxicology, testing, digital forensics. Adoption of modern technologies and equipment in forensics will improve the accuracy and efficiency of investigations. Government of Uganda, through the Directorate of Government and Laboratory, entered into Mr. Chairman. Last but not least, the Ministry will focus on improving access to justice for all, improvement of staff welfare, and improvement of infrastructure, as will be reflected in the respective BFP presentations by the accounting officers. I thank you for listening to me, and thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Honorable. Some induction in case, but we stop them from developing ideas. Honorable Minister, this is, and honorable colleagues, this is an overview of the votes under Ministry of Internal Affairs. Just 3 points, and before we entertain specific votes, and we want you to also focus on BFP and the questions that we sent to you. But Honorable Minister, I have been following, of course. On page 7 of 9, you report about the growing average of prisoners population at an alarming average rate of 8%. And this is what overcrowds our prisons. Now, I want you to reconcile. How do you reconcile this with the decrease in crime rate? You reported a decrease in crime rate. I wanted to know what brings this. It's attributable to what? But having noted a decrease in crime rate nationwide, how do you then reconcile this with an increase in the prisoner population at an alarming rate of 8%? Secondly, about I thought that's going to be, yes, you report about a shortfall. These honorable colleagues who are here know very well that in 6 months' time they will be going for elections. And of course, not only members of this committee, but all other. We want to know whether this shortfall does not affect, or because you acknowledge that some activities will be affected. May we know what activities will be affected and how else we can be of help, because this is your mother committee and we don't want you to run anywhere else. So please, in specific presentations of votes, highlight this. it's of great impact to us, but also to you. Otherwise, your presentation is good. Just